All right. What's up, y'all? Thank you for being patient. It's your boy Dark with DLD After Dark, and we are getting ready to get started. We have a very, very, very special guest, which I'm super excited about. From this point, at least, we'll refer to them as guest unknown. So stick around. We'll get started and bring them in just a second. Thanks, y'all. All right. So, believe it or not, every now and then I can get some dope ass guests, and this happens to be one of those times. If my mouse wasn't failing, hold up. What the hell's going on? Bro. Okay, hold on. I'm literally having a little skiddly-doo here. Okay, guest, hold on for me for one moment, because my mouse is like, oh, that may be what it is. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, now we're bringing the guest, Mr. Dimitri from Firearms Unknown.
What's up, guys?
Welcome. Dude, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is awesome. Oh, man, that voice. It's just like music to my ears.
Yeah,
So,
I've had a couple of the employees say that they're having trouble distinguishing me from an ATF agent at this point, so it's kind of backfiring, but I mean...
Dude, it's all I see is Richard Bizet.
That's not good. That's not a good legacy for me.
Well, as long as it's mocking the ATF.
Yeah, there you go.
You're solid, man. You're solid. Maybe not everybody knows who you are and kind of what you do. So feel free, let everyone introduce yourself. Kind of let everyone know what you do.
Yeah. So I work at Firearms Unknown, as you can see on the hat there. And we're a firearms retailer, mostly involved in 80%ers and that sort of thing. Prior to this, I ran a company called Aries Armor, and that's where I got my particular affection for the ATF due to being raided in about 2014 over some absolute nonsense, and it turned into this big spiral. And ever since then, it's the ATF has seemed like a really easy target to go after for lowbrow jokes.
Oh yeah.
The material just writes itself. It's like I don't have to do anything.
So you got raided, and
yeah.
I've heard a couple of crazy things around this, and we are definitely going to dig into that. But I felt that for not everybody is going to necessarily be familiar with your work, and I thought that how appropriate it would be if I put like a little mashup together. So I was like, why not throw it in? You said I'm cool if I go ahead and throw this in there.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Okay, cool. So this is a short little intro here. Let me see. This will give you guys some people that may demoralize the ATF. That's an excellent hashtag. People that may not be familiar with Firearms Unknown's work. I'm about to jump into it right now. And you'll see a cameo from a friend of the channel in here too. So it's a double whammy. I think that... Let me know in the chat too if audio is good. We should be good.
Zippity day. The ATF is taking
This is probably my least favorite episode we did.
Really?
Right,
so I use this as the intro.
Today.
Just this part.
ATF is gonna fuck up your day.
So it goes into a different episode.
Hey guys, Richard Bizet here. Thanks all for coming out. special thanks to the NRA for letting us do this. You know, we couldn't do our jobs without them doing their jobs, and they do a great job of supporting us, and they always have. And so we really like them, and we appreciate them bringing you all here to listen to our speech.
Funny, everybody who stole this video from us, it got stolen a lot on the some of the places. They cut that part out.
Really?
Yeah.
What you are going to be learning in this presentation is 1, why are gun owners such crybabies? The law isn't hard. You're just not believing hard enough. Get harder with me, Agent Richard Bazet. All right, first slide here. Click. We're going to talk about pistols. Look at that. It's very simple. It's a pistol. Everybody knows what a pistol is, and that's a pistol. Click. Look at this. This isn't a pistol. This is an AOW. I see that it kind of looks like a pistol, but it's clearly not a pistol. Click. Who made this PowerPoint? That's a pistol. Also a pistol. Apparently, don't need a tax stamp for that one. Click. All right. Let's go back. Click. Okay, so this one's a pistol. Next. Click. This one's a rifle. Apparently, this is a rifle. Oh, because it has a stock. It's got a shoulder thing in the back there. So this one's a rifle. Let's just move on next. All right, so here we got a rifle. As you can see, everything's in there. It's a 14 and a half inch barrel that's been pinned to 16. Got a nice banana clip. Perfect rifle. Click.
Played a little fast and loose with that one.
This looks like the same. What's different here? All right, this is an SPR. This is illegal. You'll go straight to jail for this one.
Straight to jail.
$200 tax stamp or go straight to jail. Hold on. We're going to go back again and see the difference between this one and the previous one. Click. All right, so this one's a rifle. Click. This one's an SPR. All right, moving on. Next. This one's a pistol. All right, let's go back. Click. This one's a SPR. Click. This one's a pistol. This one's a pistol.
Click.
Looks like it's fine. Everything's fine with it. You can have this. No.
We didn't actually intend to leave the
All right,
click
let's
and all
move
this
on.
other
Next.
stuff into it.
Click.
I just set it as a point so we'd know when to switch the
This
slides
one
when we're making
is
the
an
cartoon.
AOW.
And then we thought it was
Yep,
funny,
this
so we
was
just
an
left it in
AOW.
there.
Straight to jail.
Wow.
A
Yeah.
lot of this stuff ends up being like that, where we don't intend to do something, and then it's just there, and we're
Well,
like,
this
oh,
looks
let's just leave it. It's funny.
All right, let's go back.
That's the best shit, though. That's the best shit.
All right, this one's an AOW. It's in red. You go to jail for it. Next. This one is not an AOW. Oh, the grips are different. See, the grip's a little bit different. That makes a big difference, apparently. 10 years in prison for that little grip thing there. Next. All right, so here we got a rifle. Pretty much the same rifle we've been looking at this whole time. That's great. Everything's legal there. Next, click. And now it's a machine gun. All right, so let's go back. Click. Let's go forward. Click. Yeah, these are the same gun, but it used to be a rifle, but now it's a machine gun because he said it's a machine gun now. So, all right, moving on. Making this easy for you guys. Next. Oh, this isn't a rifle or a pistol. This is just a gun. These are called Title I firearms for those of you who aren't in the know. Pretty simple stuff here. Next. Okay, now it's a short-barreled shotgun.
I love the LOL.
Yep, that's a short-barreled shotgun. All right, we're moving on. Hello, perpetrators. Kick. Hello, perpetrators.
What, bro?
Smoking the reefer. Bang, 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 bang. Yeah, so that was the wrong house, but there was a dog in there smoking the doobie-doo. So I took care of that problem. I'm just going to the next house, man. Just wait here.
The first thing you need to know when being a successful ATF agent is when you see the dog.
You didn't leave in the
Hello,
we put down
perpetrators.
Here's
Who
how-
the hell are you?
I'm Agent Zay. Who the hell are you?
I'm CRL. I am ATF agent Honcho.
Are you making a YouTube video right now?
No, I'm like totally undercover.
You're undercover? Why are you in uniform then? That doesn't make any sense. Do you have some ID or something?
No. Blender.
So he sent us a bunch of random
Right.
words, and we didn't know why he sent over his recording of random words. And so
Yeah.
that was one of those things where we did the
Hey,
part,
man,
and then
did
this
we
random
use the
like,
code
all these
word
random
Blender?
words,
Did
and we're
we
like,
think
let's
about
just start
Blender?
throwing some of these words in, because why not?
Oh, dude, that's dope. Yeah, CRS is a good friend of the channel. I've known him for a while now, and we actually he came out Virginia on his little road trip on behalf of the ATF, actually. And that's I'm out in Virginia, and we got to meet in person. Believe it or not, we did a little stream in person. He's a good dude.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
I just know they blend things.
Screw it. Next house.
Hey guys, thanks for coming out today. So, you know why we're all here today, right? We need to get these guns out of the hands of all these do-gooders, walk around thinking they can do whatever they want, whenever they want. And that's not happening on my watch. So we need some new ideas. What do you guys got?
Is there still an echo, guys?
Well, Satan, I have an idea. What we could do is we could program an algorithm into the computer, and the computer can designate which firearms are legal or illegal, and it could be mass illegalness.
Why does this guy sound like he's a dog with peanut butter stuck in his mouth? Who brought this kid?
I don't sound like a dog with peanut butter.
No echo. Okay, thank you.
I have an idea. We need to make more arrests. It's really hard to arrest normal people and convict them of
Yeah, there's an
crimes.
echo
So
for
what
sure.
we need to do is we need to go after mentally challenged people. And here's how we do that. We set up sting operations and
All right, hold up. I may have to re-screen share if there's an echo, y'all. Might be. Hold up. So in those situations that you're about to talk about, those were actually real ATF sting operations, right?
That's kind of the fun part about doing this is mixing in the reality into the nonsense, which is kind of the overall point. Because I think that a lot of people, and I think a lot of people when they see some of this stuff, they think we're kidding, which is why we're putting like the banners up and things like that. So hopefully, people go over and DuckDuckGo or whatever it is they do and look into it. 'Cause some of the stuff they've done is so far into absurdity that it does sound like it was made up by somebody trying to come up with a joke, but it's not.
Dude,
it's real.
I've literally seen it. I got a story after we go through this. I'll share a story with you as well. It's nuts. Like, it's unbelievable. Zach Carr, shout out to Zach Carr. Thank you for the super chat. So Zach Carr runs a company called Toxic Patch Co. And his patches are like nuts, dude. He does such an incredible job on them. He did all of our blue Chem Light patches, and they actually glow in the dark. Yeah, so he said, Richard beats it, patch it. Let's do it. All right, I'll fire this back up.
poor
You can tell
neighborhood.
him to send me an email
Get
on
a
that.
mentally challenged person
Might
to
be
come
interested in it.
into our fake gun shop
Hell
that we
yeah.
built. We trick him into getting a squid smoking marijuana tattoo on his neck, and then we arrest him after we convince him to do gun crimes. It's going to be great.
You already did that, Dick. We need something new.
My name's Richard. It's not Dick, it's Richard. All right, so next idea, we give guns to the cartels. We tell the gun stores that they have to let the cartel purchasers straw purchase for them. We get all these guns into the cartel hands. When the cartels start committing violence with it, we can blame the guns. And then everybody will want to ban the guns, right?
You already did that too, Dick. Let's see what somebody else has to say. Joe, you here with us?
Joey, wake up.
It's the best.
Joe?
No, buy a shotgun.
That was really good, Joey. You can go back to sleep now.
All right, we appreciate you, Joe. But I got an idea. When we get
Yeah,
the
so
kids
this
without shooting,
where he's got
we could do
ATF crossed out
absolutely
there.
nothing.
We actually slowly
Let the
transitioned
kids
his
get shot,
uniforms
then go
over
down there
from
and blame the
ATF
guns
to
instead of us.
AFT
It's a win-win
after Biden
situation,
had all those
am I right?
gaffes. So you
Take
can
it
kind of
easy,
see
dude.
when that
I
event
even think
happened
that's a
in the
bad
show
idea.
because
What's
it
wrong
kind of
with
like
you?
you'll see the uniforms
Holy
slowly
crap,
start
man.
changing.
This guy's
Nice.
serious.
Or we could just burn the kids.
All right. Moving on.
Hi, guys. I've been wanting to save the children for a long time, but after sitting through this meeting, I mean, that's literally Satan over there. Do you guys not notice that's literally Satan sitting in this meeting? That can't be a good sign. I mean, maybe we should just respect everybody's constitutional rights.
That awkward silence.
Sam.
I think maybe we were smoking something when we made this one.
I like how it's like dogs' lives matter. Opie, brother, thank you for the super chat. Demoralize the ATF. That's
Glass water.
awesome. Let me cut this off. Dude, so I know it's just a little snippet. Backdoor, thank you for the super chat. Dogs Lives Matter, absolutely. Sport Brand says the absurdity of it is so close to reality.
Yeah, it's an easy thing to do because it is reality, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering if everybody realizes what your backdrop is.
Oh, Waco. Yeah, we got Waco back there.
Yeah. Waco. Yeah, so going back to what you were talking about, and again, thank you for coming on.
There, come in and say hi. Hi, guys.
Hey, bud.
It's my son, Justin.
That's a 6-year-old?
Yeah.
Nice.
All right,
That's
there you
awesome.
go, there you go, buddy.
So you got raided initially. So let's go back to that. Kind of tell us what happened. Like what prompted the raid? Like,
So there was basically a product that it was called the EP80, and it was a plastic. The entire thing was made of plastic, and it had two sections. One was a biscuit that was one color and indicated the fire control pocket, and the other color was the external color that would be left. And the idea is the biscuit acted, because the two colors, it acted as a guide, so you can cut it out.
mm-hmm.
And the way it was molded, it was made with the biscuit first, and then the external portion was molded around it, so that there was never a empty space in the weapon itself, and so it wouldn't cross the line into being a firearm, because obviously you made a firearm, you couldn't just fill it back in. The ATF, they got one of them, and then they just decided that it had been made the opposite direction, that it had been filled back in. They wrote a letter saying, hey, it's illegal, and then they started conducting raids on it. When they called me, they basically said, look, man, it's not your product or whatever, and we've talked to you before and we haven't had any issues with you, so here's what we're going to do. They're like, you can give us all your customers, the names and addresses of everyone who purchased one of these, and then we'll leave you alone. Nobody will know what happened. Or, we're just going to come down and raid you. And so I went back and forth on this with my lawyers, trying to figure out what we could do. And so what I did is I had the lawyer that they were in contact with, I be like, hey, come by on Wednesday. We'll get everything ready for you. And then Monday we filed for restraining order. Wednesday morning we were granted that restraining order. And when they came by to get the stuff, we're like, well, we have a restraining order against you now. So,
Wow.
yeah. And then that Friday, they basically were able to get around the restraining order through an ex parte hearing that they had. And, excuse me for 1 second.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I heard Nevada's going blue, and Backdoor and Techno, you're not the only one, brother. What's up, Faith?
Can you
Virginia's
hear me?
going blue too. Yep.
Gotcha. Oh lordy.
And just so you
Like I
guys
said,
know,
got
he
kids
has
running
3
all over
little
the
ones.
place.
Yeah, he's got 3 little ones, so we all know, the priority, family first. The way it should have been done is ATF go in, see the process manufacturer, see that it's not made how they think, and that's the end of it. Yeah, well, that's using logic.
Yeah,
and stuff.
that would be if anybody down there had like any sort of a sense of reality. But once they had, can you hear me? Am I on?
Yep.
All right. Once they had started conducting these raids, they kind of had stepped in it, so they wanted to like solidify their position.
Yeah.
And it just came more absurd as we were moving along here. And I was a young guy too when this happened. I was in my mid-20s, and I'd just gotten out of the Marine Corps, and so I was all full of hate and discontent, everything else like that. Like most people are right out, adjusting to civilian life and all that sort of stuff. You can't treat employees the same way you would treat Marines and things like that. And
for sure.
Yeah, it was an interesting time in life, but I might have, started poking them a little more than what was necessary. And it's actually, there is a little bit, this agent that we've got in this show, Richard Bazet. The first time I did this was a real ATF agent, and he was one of the guys who raided me. And we got his picture and turned him into a life-size cardboard cutout and named him Richard Cranium. And we had him up in the shop. You can come get your picture taken with him. So I don't think he's working undercover ever again. But
hold on.
Yeah,
it was a picture of the actual agent.
Yeah. One of the agents who raided us. He was a total dick to my lawyer.
Wow.
He was being really rude and smacking gum and stuff. And so we got a picture of him and turned him into a cardboard cutout. I'm probably wasn't the most mature thing to do, but it felt good at the time.
Beautiful. That is like the most classic troll ever.
And then there was the pizza incident. So if you send 8 large anchovy pizzas to ATF agents who are investigating you, they're going to freak out. I'm just letting you know ahead of time because that happened.
Is that what you did?
Yeah. And the poor pizza delivery man, he got like searched and patted down, and they pulled out their giant evidence camera and started taking pictures of his pizzas.
Oh my god! So is this like a sleep with the fishes kind of analogy?
I thought it was funny. Who the hell likes anchovy pizzas? Nobody. Plus, then we had this thing where we called them the anchovy task force because I'm basically a 6-year-old, and that's the kind of stuff I think is funny.
Yeah. We're all the same way. The whole community is the same way too.
And they went to court and said I was threatening them and all sorts of other silliness. I don't know who's threatened by anchovies, but I guess
was it a field office where you are, or was it Martinsburg?
Yeah. Okay. It was the field office where we were.
Gotcha.
Just a local one.
Gotcha.
I didn't go too far for that one.
Yeah, I just pictured you outside of Needy Road, like in West Virginia doing crazy stuff, but. Okay,
no,
so
that was another time. Yeah, that was out in Indiana. So.
Oh god. So so you served them pizzas. Pizza boy got cavity searched, and
are we good?
Yep. So after Pizza Boy got cavity searched, what happened next?
Well, there was a lot of lawsuits going on at the time, and are you connected to the thing? Here, let's see. Let's try it. All right, can you guys give me about 5 minutes real quick here?
Yeah, you're good.
I'll be right back.
Every time I hear that voice, all I can see is Richard Bazet. And then Sebastian with his little skiddly-doo. Oh, man, this is great. Opie, what's up, brother? Dirt McGirt, what's cracking? Faith, thank you for coming. What is a firearm? Chuck Norris, what's up, brother? The Bacon, what's up, brother? At least it would be California, for now at least. Hey, yeah, but it's close. It's right there. I know. I was thinking, like, after a quick gloss over, they probably just ate all the pizzas. But, I mean, that's what I would do. You know those things in the airport when they, like, swab a suitcase and then put it into the machine? I could picture them, like, swabbing the pizza box, putting it in a machine, and be like, no, we're good. Bring them in. Bring those 8 pizzas in. Some of the Foxtrot Delta Alpha is speaking out about the poke. Yeah, did you guys see the oh, hold on, we're going to jump back into it in a second. Just remember the Veritas stuff. Veritas is almost proven to be controlled out, but
Sorry about that.
No, you're good, dude. You're good.
Looks like my phone just took a bath in the toilet, so I had to go.
Oh man, that is the worst.
Yeah.
And it seems like every single method that people talk about, like, oh, it's best to freeze it and then remove the ice, or drop it in a bag of rice, which actually may not be a bad idea.
Yeah, we might have to be doing the rice trick tonight, but
yeah, dude, if you need it.
Chaos.
John Crump says, "When will I make it into an episode?"
Where are we at?
John Crump, he's the regional director for the Gun Owners Association of America, for the GOA. And
Send me an email.
Awesome. And I mean, I wouldn't mind, being in, Firearms Unknown. We can work our way there. John Crump,
Yeah.
you wait your turn, okay? No, he's a good friend of the channel. He basically every single 2A YouTuber, not to take anything from them, but like when you see Reno May, Johnny B, Guns and Gadgets all drop news, it's coming from him. Can I crash a plane on an episode? A report on glowies. Who won't take the pokey poke? BWE Firearms, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Gucci shitbag.
Give me one more second.
Yeah, you're good, man. Yeah, no, and we talked prior to this. He was like, "Man, it's not a perfect time for me because I got kids." I was like, "Dude, do your thing, man. It's a chill stream." DLD After Dark. Rice works, but grits is way better at drying out your device. Much more absorbent and more surface area. Crumpy's a good boy. Yeah, good boy. Flying Rich, what's cracking? Hilarious that they caught an undercover at that Fed rally today. Is that what happened? So I didn't even look to see what happened, man. I've been busy all day, but you could tell it was like prepping to be a false flag. It was like the false flags of all false flags, or the false flag of all false flags. Like, come on, dude. No one set that up. No one set that up. It was like when you started seeing those flyers of march on your, state capitol building this day, this time, and go armed. It's like, why does this look like a CCP flyer? Suspect. And Sport Brand came in. He contributed to the stream that we did for P80 Dan and for now P80 Liam. And he won a kit, a very special kit. And the kit was mailed out the other day. So good for you, brother. It's a Cobalt kit, which you'll have to put some time into knitting and sewing and grinding and just trying to pass this chemo cycle. Damn, brother. I'm sorry you got to go through that, dude. I know that's tough, man. I am more than happy to chat if you ever want to call someone just to bitch and complain. I'm up all the time. I could probably sleep for 3, maybe 4, sometimes, if I spoil myself, 5 hours a night. So, DLD After Dark. What's up, Dark? Just got here. Dang, it is a good surprise guest. I know, right? Thank you, Dustin. Hey, I worked hard for this. He told me for the longest time, he was like, dude, I'd love to come on and be awesome, but timing just doesn't work. And it's like, dude, you got kids, do your thing, man. If I did this during a time that my daughter was up, like, dude, it'd be, if you guys saw me on Hank Strange's show, I literally have to like get up and walk away and like pick up my daughter and all that stuff. So we get it, man. Family always comes first. But I told him like we're a chill community, chill stream. So something pops up with your kids, good do your thing. We'll be waiting for you. I'll be heading up to your neck of the woods on Wednesday, Mr. Hoffman. Oh, hey, you're glowing. You're glowing. I've never heard the thing about PV being controlled opposition. So, Dan, I'm super far behind on chat, y'all. My bad. Let me just go all the way. Just tired and a lot of nausea this cycle. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. I got a thing of CBD I can send you if you want to go halvesies on some gummies. I gotcha.
All right, can we hear me?
Yep.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right, what'd I miss?
We were
Sorry, I
just
keep
kinda
bouncing
chatting.
back and forth.
No, you're good, man. Family is always first. You're good. I was just kind of chatting with all all the peeps. Yeah, but literally, like, it hasn't changed by like one or two people since you came and gone. So people definitely wanna hear from you. Damn Chuck Norris Gun Club. I am sorry to hear that, and I'm happy to chat if you want to. It sucks. Um, yeah, sorry. So, when ended up happening with the whole
Where were
situation?
we at? You're gonna have to remind me where we were at.
So we ended up basically, you sent the pizzas. Pizza boy, got his butthole searched, and
So, hey, I'm not the world's biggest asshole. I did give that guy a $500 tip, so he probably got
damn,
the coolest story. I mean, you're just trying to deliver
500.
pizzas, and all of a sudden the ATF is like giving you a pat down. That's gotta suck. So I had to make it worth it
Wow,
for him. He didn't know that was gonna happen, and so I felt really bad.
dang.
But
Oh, and
I
he didn't know
guarantee
about the
you,
tip till afterwards too, right?
yeah, and I guarantee you, to this day, he still tells that story of the time he got a $500 tip and fondled by federal agents or whatever.
Could you imagine,
But
like,
yeah,
just not even knowing? Is the field office like pretty discreet, or?
yeah, they're pretty discreet. But the thing is I thought they were going to be like, oh, look, pizza's here, whatever. I didn't
Yeah,
realize they were going to go crazy over it. I mean, honestly, if you're that afraid of pizzas, maybe you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing that's causing you to be worried.
yeah, yeah.
It's I don't know. I mean, I've never really been insulted to that level or terrified by somebody delivering me a pizza. So
Well, I mean, let's flip it the other way. Like, if the ATF sent you and your business 8 pizzas,
I'd laugh hysterically. You
and
know,
would you
like,
eat them?
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't, especially if it's something disgusting like anchovy pizzas. You can't let them win. You have to eat it all and
Yeah,
act like you like
right.
it. You
And
know.
post selfies on
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Instagram and
Like, look
stuff.
at me and my ATF pizza.
Oh
I
man.
mean, they'd have to have a sense of humor to do something like that, though. So it's a little bit much to ask.
Yeah, of course. That could never happen. Send him kimchi. Yeah. Um, Imagine if the pizza dude was stoned. Dude, that's true. Like, if he was like riding dirty, he would have been short. Oh, that's too funny. Rolls up
That
carrying
all
an
worked out,
illegal
though.
gun, carrying a
Yeah.
Jennings 25 in the small of his back.
Yeah, I mean we're in California, so that's unlikely. But
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So they basically said, give us the names, or whatever. You got a restraining order, and we're discussing with your lawyers. What ended up happening?
they got around the restraining order. They had an ex parte hearing that Friday on March 13th. Basically, they said, "Oh, this restraining order is for civil things. This is a criminal case. Blah 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 blah." And then they conducted a raid. They took our computer systems and everything else like that. But I'm not gonna really talk about what
Yeah,
was. I had. I'll just put it this way: I had 24 hours with that computer before they took it. So,
copy
but they
that.
took they took our computer systems and they confiscated the actual items that they were considering to be firearms. And around that point, they filed underneath what's called CAFRA. I don't know if you're
Mhm.
familiar with that, the
No.
Civil Asset Forfeiture Reform Act, and basically they attempted to take the property through the CAFRA process.
Oh my
And
God.
um, so I filed a claim, and basically that puts it according to the statutory schema of CAFRA. The next step in the process, if the claim is filed and they want to continue on with their forfeiture, they would need to basically go to court. Well, when the time ran for them to actually file in court in order to go through the process of taking the parts, they decided not to abide by the statute, and in fact, they later argued in court that um, that they don't have to follow the law because they're the ATF. That they literally argue that. And it turned into this funny situation where basically we had to sue them again. And so now we're suing them under CAFRA, saying, hey, you ran your time was up, and you didn't do the things according to the statute. And they said, well, we withdrew from CAFRA. So what they attempted to do was have two bites at the apple. If you don't file the claim with CAFRA, then they just take your stuff. But if you do file the claim, then they're like, oh, we don't want to do CAFRA anymore. And they back out of it so that they're not bound by their side of it.
Okay.
And so right before there was going to be, we had our hearing on the CAFRA case. And right before there was going to be a ruling on that hearing, their lawyers contacted my lawyers, and they're like, hey, man, come pick up all your stuff. And so me and my lawyer go down to the ATF's office, and we pick up nearly, I think it was 5,000 or 6,000 items that the ATF is saying is illegally manufactured firearms, right? But they're handing them to me. And I thought it was some sort of a weird trap or something,
Yeah. That's the first thing I thought.
Yeah, because they've got a piece of paper that says this is an illegally manufactured firearm. Oh, by the way, here you go, buddy. And here's 6,000 of them. And so I kind of wanted to get out of there real quick, but my lawyer was more thinking on his feet, and he had several of the ATF officers sit there and count every single one of them in every single box, because he noticed that some of the boxes looked like they had been either opened or damaged and things like that.
Chewed
and
on,
wouldn't
like
you know it,
dog.
wouldn't you know it, there's 18 missing lowers. So now we've got another problem, which is somehow in the ATF's custody, what they considered to be illegally manufactured firearms, 18 of them just poofed and disappeared. Which created another lawsuit. It was honestly a huge mess. The whole thing was nonsense. And they were threatening me the entire time, like, oh, you're this, you're that. Every one of their filings, they're like, this is a criminal case. It'll get dealt with in criminal court and all this other stuff. But honestly, they dug so far up me that if I had been doing anything illegal, I'm sure I'd still be in prison right now. But I have this nasty habit of, following the laws to the best of my ability. And
isn't it a shame?
Yeah.
Dude, so I am baffled. It just what I hear of complete and utter negligence by the ATF. And I mean, like, around firearms.
My case isn't even that bad. You know what I mean? Like, there's other cases that are way worse than this. Like the instance of the mentally challenged person getting a tattoo on his neck. Stuff like that. Like, my case is obnoxious. And actually, in one of the videos we did, I show, and this is probably the most interesting thing that came out of my case, and I showed the application for the search warrant that was eventually issued against me. And in order to get that application, they had to convince a judge that I was doing something illegal. Well, the agent who wrote this, he made up a law. And when I say it's not like the normal sense how the ATF like does rulings and then those rulings have the force and effect of law. It's not like that kind of made up a law. No, this guy invented a new law like that didn't exist.
What?
And so yeah. If you watch the raid video, the one that CRS was in the very beginning, Bizet and Sebastian are having this discussion about how Sebastian messed with the paperwork and Bizet had to fix it. Well, that was real. An ATF agent really did that. And I show a clip of the part of the actual affidavit that was used. And if you look there, the law that's being quoted, what he does is he takes the law for destructive devices. He ends quote, and then he pulls out the words destructive device, inputs the word firearm in the most general sense, and then reopens the quote right after it. So if you're looking at it, he didn't actually like change it in the quote, but he ended quote, added firearms, reopened the quote to make it seem like the more stringent requirements that apply to things like grenades and grenade launchers and rockets also apply to every other firearm.
What?
And yeah. And when they were called on this in court, their basic excuse for it was, oh, well, the judge should have known the law. Like the judge is going to have every single law memorized, and they showed up at his house in the middle of the night to get this warrant.
That is completely like nefarious intent. Like that.
Yeah,
that
it's
is
pretty
crazy.
obvious. It's pretty obvious, but whatever. What are you going to do? It's this is the way our government works. And that's another thing for me. I spent 8 years in the Marine Corps. I fought in both Iraq and Afghanistan, And I grew up in a pretty conservative family up in Northern California.
Mhm.
And I had this idea of America that was based on the advertisements, freedom and all. Like, I thought the justice system was really out for justice, and
It was
that's what
real.
they were doing because we're Americans, and these are our things that we try for. We have this philosophy as a country of freedom and liberty, and that's why we're better than everybody else. And this interaction with the ATF really kind of was a smack in the face of reality for me. And to a certain degree, they broke my childhood dream of what I thought the country was, and it kind of threw me down this rabbit hole of libertarianism, I think. But
man, that's pretty sad. I mean, especially, and I appreciate your commitment to the country and what you gave, and I feel weird like saying thank you for your service, but I genuinely appreciate you committing your life to the Marines. How do you feel like with everything kind of going on the way it is now? How do you feel with
in
like as a
Afghanistan, is that what you're
GWAT
talking about?
guy? Yeah, and not even just necessarily Afghanistan, but like as a GWAT guy with like everything. Let's say
So
the
this
last like,
isn't
year.
this isn't the first time I've seen something like this. I fought in Ramadi in Iraq, and ISIS took over Ramadi. I remember seeing that on the news, and that was a little interesting to watch. And I had some time to sit down and think about that. And then this new event here when the Taliban took over Afghanistan. I've got friends that were really upset by all this, and I've seen a lot of other people just in the most general really upset by it. And obviously what happened there was bad and was the wrong thing to do. But at the same time, for me, I'm not particularly interested in pieces of dirt on the other side of the world. And that wasn't what I was fighting for. It wasn't, dirt or land or anything else like that. You fight because that's your job and that's what you're supposed to do. It's an experience like anything else.
Yeah.
And so, I don't concern myself with the matters of earthworms.
Yeah. Do you think that it was irresponsible to leave that type of equipment behind for our
Yeah, I
mortal
mean it's a
enemies?
little ridiculous. We're talking about all these gun laws and things or whatever, while the same government that won't let me have, I mean, I'm in California, so the restrictions I've got are absurd, and then we're just dropping off whatever it may be to the Taliban. I mean, it's and obviously the way that was handled was mind-bogglingly stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't even imagine the decision-making process that went on through this whole event.
Oh
But
God.
here we are. So
I can imagine the conversations. I did like a little short on it, and it was kind of jokingly like, decision-making process was, what should we do? And a couple things pop up. It's like, Schumann and Nama to pressure. I got hairy legs. Corn Pop was a bad dude. And it's like, we'll just leave him.
Pop, gotta love Corn Pop, man.
Yeah.
That never gets old.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. This guy, I don't understand it because the things that come out of his mouth are such obvious lies. Like it's not even close to reality, and I don't even understand the brain process that would result in a story like the Corn Pop story.
I know.
It's amazing, really.
The
And
mental
honestly,
faculties are seriously
yeah,
concerning.
I'm actually kind of happy about it, to be honest, because I think the country is just swirling anyway. And so I think the best thing to do is to vote for whatever is going to be the most entertainment. And right now, there's just free entertainment everywhere in the world. It's just nonstop entertainment,
Dude,
I mean, what was it? Just 2 days ago, we bombed 7 children. I mean, it's absurd, man.
Yeah, the way I look at it, I don't have any plan or intention on things getting better. I would love for them to get better, but I think, most people are going to be eventually stepping over corpses to get their soy latte in the morning, and just kind of business as usual, but let's hope not. But
well, eventually it's going to happen. It's really a matter of when, whether it's in the next 100 years or the next 200 years or whatever it may be. But no empire or country lasts forever. That's just the way of the world, and no system lasts forever. And so right now we've had an incredible run of peace.
Yeah.
This is the most peaceful time that human beings have ever existed, and we should be very grateful that we live in the time that we do. But eventually that's going to come to end, and there's going to be some new order that comes about, whether that be this or that. That's just the way of the world. Nothing is going to last forever.
Yeah. Amen. So all this fuckery with the ATF has kind of pushed you into, trolling them a bit and making some hilarious cartoon skits that, like, what made you get into it? Like, were you already into cartoons, or?
We kind of fell into it. So the original idea was, we started out, so I write goofball children's books that aren't really children's books. Stuff like The Three Little Pigs, but the last little pig, murders the wolf because he built his own ghost gun. And the original idea that we were going to do was to animate the book series that we're working on. And for some reason, while we were working on that, I looked at it and I just thought to myself, what would be hilarious is, a ATF agent that was just an absolute idiot that was representative of that entire agency. And, they're constantly doing something stupid. So it's not like we have to look hard for material or anything.
Yeah, no, right.
And then it just kind of just rolled together. Especially if you watch the first couple videos we have, the sound is awful. And even our animation is still kind of awful, but it's getting better. And we're doing, you know what I mean? It's also,
it's great.
We've got one guy working on the animation. We've got me doing the voices and a lot of the stuff going back and forth. And so it's not like we've got a giant team of people doing this either. It's not like we have a full production studio or anything. It's literally a couple of guys in a room.
Well, it's funny because I actually didn't notice like the audio of the earlier episodes until you guys like stepped it up because the content was so good. So I went back and kind of watched, and I was like, "Oh, damn, that audio is like off." Like I didn't notice.
We got one video where we messed up the audio so bad that the speaking only comes out of one ear, and we didn't even notice it, until I had an earpiece in, and I was going back through some other videos, and I was like, I can't hear myself talking. I see the lips moving, and I'm like, oh, great, yeah, there we go. Great job, good job, high five, Dimitri.
Sport Brand says, I'm looking for a used PEC 15 in Farsi, asking for a friend.
I didn't bother to learn Farsi. It was, that's not really the best way to communicate with those people, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I know, I know we joke around a lot about it. Like the video I made on it was, a joke. It was making fun of and trolling the just ridiculously absurd decisions, and if any planning was put into stuff like that, but. There are also Americans over there, right? And that's that bothers me. Not to take it to a place of like reality and stuff, because this in the evening with the streaming, it's like this is the escape from the reality, So, but yeah, so the books are great. The Three Little Pigs, that's awesome. Building a ghost gun in children's books is always important.
We got a sequel to that and coming out in about a month.
Oh,
Big Bad Wolf Strikes Back.
Oh, nice. He was wearing armor. What was the other book that you guys? So
we got 4 of them out right now. We've 3 children's books. It's the Three Little Pigs. We've got The Boy Who Cried Adolf, which apparently Adolf is actually a word for wolf. And then we've got Jack and Beans. So it's Jack and the Beanstalk, but essentially Bernie Sanders is the bean salesman, and he's selling a bill of goods that, you kind of get the idea of where that's going.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all fake. It's all nonsense, and everybody dies in the end. So starves to death, which is the typical result of socialism and communism. So
that sounds so familiar. Did they take all the guns first?
We actually didn't even. I've only got 16 to 18 pages to work with, and so there's a lot of stuff we have to cut down. It's not like we're writing novels here, but so we didn't even get into guns. We were too busy talking about Jack's hairy milk. So.
So, are you actually putting these books to print and getting them out there?
Yes. Yes,
Dude,
100%. Yeah, they're real
bravo.
books. You can purchase them on our website. We'll probably have them on Amazon in the next month or two. That hasn't been really a big priority for us, to be honest, but eventually we'll do it.
I need to hook you up with the Pew Pew Jew. You ever heard of him?
No.
So he
I'm gonna
makes,
be honest, man. I really don't spend a whole lot of time on the internet,
yeah,
and so there's like a lot of people that I just have no idea who they are.
dude, you're gonna love it. He literally makes children's books that are all firearm related.
Oh,
So
fun.
like he said, he got tired of reading to his kids, and he's kind of funny because like he's very unique, but he's sitting there reading books to his kids, and he's like, A is for apple, B is for ball. And he's like, you know what? This is stupid. It's like A is for AR-15, B is for bipod, C is for clip, and he literally like goes. It's hilarious, dude. He's got a bunch
It's
of them.
interesting. We actually have something somewhat similar to that. It's more of a song that's going to be coming out in the next month. But yeah, we did do an ABC one a couple months ago. It just hasn't been released yet. That's funny.
That's awesome. It just seems like the first one to go after, the simple ABCs.
Yeah.
So did the ATF ever get a list or partial
I'm
list?
going to answer one of these questions here from Armitage. So for ours, Q was questioning why gun laws even exist. That was our fun word with Q.
Nice.
Questioning.
That's excellent. Yeah, Armitage. What's up, brother? He's a hell of a dude too. He's a beast when it comes to like building and shit like that. Queen.
I'm sorry. What were you asking?
Quick detach suppressor. Oh, that'd be good too. Like QD. Like, there you go. Bring up the old Trilug. So did the ATF ever get a list or a partial list or like of the purchasers?
So they did get our computer system. How valuable that information was,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I can't really go too far into that. There was a court order telling me not to divest myself of stuff, and I can't really go too far into that.
Certainly don't want to get you in trouble, because especially if they're out there waiting for your name to pop up somewhere on the internet. And rest assured that
this is all very old stuff now. I mean, that raid happened in 2014, so we're looking a ways down the road. But
the ATF never forgets. Never forgets. And with the kind of things that we typically discuss on our streams with 55 people in here, it's likely that I'd say 3 to 5 of them are alphabet boys for sure.
I just assume that most people I meet are federal agents. It's a safe assumption to make.
So that's what our entire channel is. Like if you see the blue chem light, all that, our community is called Glowies, because you just assume every single person is a Glowy or a Fed or whatever your word of choice is. Did Mr. Guns and Gear steal a Firearms Unknown video?
Oh, we still here?
Oh, there we go. I lost you for a sec. John Crump said, "Did Mr. Guns and Gear steal a Firearms Unlimited or Unknown video?"
So, yes. I don't want to talk like crap or anything, because honestly, I like him. Like I said, I don't spend a lot of time on the internet, but I've seen his videos, and he's funny and he's entertaining. And I don't think he meant to do it. It was removed, after we requested or whatever. But basically, the first video, the one that you played earlier with the NRA symposium, that video got cut and shared onto several other video services, and it went crazy. There's what is that? TikTok that all the kids are doing. There was a TikTok video on there that got millions and millions of views, and I'm sure he got it from one of them. And they cut off the intro that would have had any sort of identifying information about where it was, where it came from. So I don't think he intended to, and I don't have any hard feelings or anything like that. I did poke fun at him because, hey, why not? and so we did, we had Bizet burn his house down or whatever, and him and Sebastian have this emotional moment about it. But
Yeah.
there's really no hard feelings. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Generally, we let people repost stuff so long as they give us credit, or there's some benefit, especially if they do it on another platform. We have no real problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys put a lot of hard work into that. I could only imagine what, like, even one episode, how much time goes into one episode?
Quite a while. It really depends on the episode, and one of the biggest things is the backgrounds and how many different moving scenes there are.
Yeah.
Every time you add complexity, you add time, and we don't have a large team working on this, so each one of these we put a significant portion of time in. I mean, the company is definitely not making money on this project. Let's put it that way at this point.
Yeah.
It's something we're doing. People like it, and it's something fun and unique, and so it is something that we're kind of investing in. I don't know how long we're going to do that with. We can't lose money forever, but
Yeah.
I would say each video we lose several $1,000s at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll say that with what you've experienced, just with everything, your experience with the ATF and, the videos and everything that you guys are doing, one thing that is like vital. I had a couple family members that were like not anti-gun. Kimball, this is the guy who does Richard Bizet's voice on Firearms Unknown, and he like Firearms Unknown is him. He is Firearms Unknown. The the thing is like you're bringing to light the ridiculousness of the stupid laws that most people don't even understand. Like when we spoke before, I had said, dude, I like the first time I saw that video, the NRA, presentation, I took a quick screen recording of it and sent it to some family members that aren't as privy on firearm laws, and they responded and they were like, Jesus, like I had no idea how ridiculous these gun laws were. Like, can you explain to me the differences in those 3 firearms that I saw? So you're making more of an impact than you may know.
Just wait till you see the next one. So normally what we do in these videos, especially the slideshow videos, is vaping's still smoking there.
Yeah. It's warm. It's not as hot, It's
hey, I'm also trying to quit. I've got these stupid little lozenge things or whatever. It's been,
I think all nicotine is bad. It's actually quite poisonous.
Yeah, it is. So what were we just talking about? Sorry, I got distracted.
No, you're good. BWE Firearms, good night, brother. I wish you luck as you recover, and I hope tomorrow you feel better. BWE Firearms is quite possibly one of the most, like, let's call it, I don't want to say famous, like most well-known Uzi manufacturer in the country. He's out of Florida. He's just literally could build a full auto Uzi out of bar stock. Like, so it's crazy. He's awesome. But he was diagnosed with colon cancer, and he's going through that recovery. So we wish him well. We love him. And nicotine prevents dementia. Excellent. I'm going to be good in that area. Yeah, so basically I was saying that you're bringing an awareness to even like the newbies, right? Like the newbies or just people that may not fully understand. Because I cannot tell you, like when I worked in the firearms industry, how many people would come in with a pistol with a vertical grip on it and be like, hey, something's going on with my bolt carrier. People just don't know. Like, how can they?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what so just normally what we do when we do these slideshow episodes is we go out and we look for firearms that are going to be really similar to each other, just with a minor difference that would make one totally fine and the other one worthy of 10 years in prison. And for the next episode, the ATF literally did my job entirely for me. And so we're doing the pistol braces next. And
Nice.
if you look at they put up examples of what's legal and what's not legal. And two of them are so close that like some of the guys in the office were having to like squint and getting close. Like, what the hell's the difference? Why is this one?
Yeah.
And one of them, they got this point system. Like, oh, you get 14 points over here, and you get 3 points over this. Like, what are you talking about, man?
Dude, it's nuts. And there's nothing on the checklist, and not that I would actually ever fill one out, but there's nothing on the checklist that removes points, right? Like typically when you have like a system like that, it's like, gain 3 points for this, remove 3 points for this. Like, there's nothing that balances it out. It's just all bad. I don't think there is one large frame or, rifle caliber pistol that would be legal if those types of restrictions were imposed.
Yeah. And it also doesn't make any difference. You know what I mean? Like, most of these laws are just such absurd technicalities, that I don't see how it's helping anybody. It really is not, when you can have basically the exact same item, except for with some minor technicalities changed. It makes no difference.
Yeah.
And so we live in the country where we have the largest prison population on the planet. We don't have the largest population, but we've got the largest prison population. And for a place that touts itself as the land of the free to be throwing people in prison for 10 years over an eighth of an inch difference in the length of their barrel seems a little absurd to me.
Yeah.
But here we are, and we've got and here's the other thing I've never really understood about our legal system is, it's impossible for anybody to actually understand the laws. You could spend your entire life sitting there reading all the laws, and there's no way that any single person can understand the entirety of the volume of law that we have. And so if no single person can understand the law, how is it that any single person can be held accountable to the law at all?
Yeah.
It's
or then
law on top of law on top of
it.
law, and then regulation on top of regulation, and then rule, and then you've got the cities passing absurd ordinances like what just happened in San Diego, and you've got the counties passing ridiculous laws, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on, and there's absolutely no way that anybody could understand it in its entirety. It's absurd. I don't know how we got here. Heinlein had a good idea in one of his books in The Moon is a Harsh Mistress, is maybe have a branch of government whose sole purpose is to undo the laws of Congress, a separate thing or something. There's got to be some sort of solution to the absurdity that is our legal system.
That's an excellent idea. John Crump, dark as a Fed. Surprisingly, that is not the first time I've heard that.
I guess that when I came on, usually most people that contact me are. So
yeah, right. Well, and CRS introduced us, so like CRS
I know he's a Fed. So
yeah. I'm actually jealous.
I'm on to y'all
because CRS, it happens so often, and then people start what do you call it? Connecting the dots, right? Like when we did CRS and I did the stream together in person, they were like, oh, the only reason that two people that live in two different places in the country will be if they flew together on the federal budget and whatever. But I'm jealous because CRS, it happens so often that he has an ATF windbreaker, and he has a plaque up that says like ATF Agent of the Month or something like that. It's like, dang it, I need to step my game up and get an ATF windbreaker and just kind of drape it over or like hang it on the hook right there.
Yeah, he's an interesting character. He was nothing but nice to me, pleasant to work with and stuff like that. I honestly didn't know who he was until he contacted us, and I looked him up and watched a couple of his videos, and he seems like a nice enough guy, but he's very polarizing. The people who love him really, really love him, and the people who hate him really, really hate him. And I found that kind of strange, to have that much passion for your feelings about some random person you see on the interwebs is a little odd to me.
Oh, people go crazy, man. I had no idea. Like, I just started this channel.
Give me 1 second, man. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good. Hey, Fairchild has been around, man. I actually saw Fairchild in our other community. How am I already demonstratized? You guys already know. It's honestly, I think it is a federal sting operation for them to remove recommended videos. And I know what y'all are doing. I know what y'all are doing. Or maybe it's the semi-auto keycard shirt that's in the that's in the picture. Maybe I need to change the thumbnail. Hold on. I think we need to change the. Maybe I'll change the thumbnail to the dark as a Fed thing. Oh, I know what I need to do. Oh, I don't think I can fit all of it in there. All right, changing thumbnail now. Boom. You guys are going to like what I changed the thumbnail to.
All right, can you hear me?
Yep.
Sweet.
Awesome. Thumbnail of your feet. Yeah, I know. We got a weird dude that asks for feet pictures. He's actually a good dude.
So, all right, feet pictures. I got to bring this up because we're talking about this ATF raid and stuff. I had one of the employees, I was playing a prank on her regularly, this is prior to the raid, and whenever she would leave for the day, I would go on to her computer and Google like really off the wall things like where do I get a sex change or stuff like that. So she'd come into work the next day and be like, what the hell's going on here? You know, like,
oh my God.
You know,
and
and
would,
so
like,
she just
pulled up on the computer and stuff.
Yeah. So it'd be like in the when she'd open the browser, it'd be like some really off the. It was never anything like weird, but it would be like some off the wall stuff, and I thought it was hilarious. And so she found out about it and decided to play a prank back on me. And when I was gone, she put my my desktop to a picture of a rotting like foot with some sort of a disease or whatever.
Oh my God.
And so I, just like with what we're talking about, if the ATF sent me pizzas, I pretended like I enjoyed it as my background, and I kept it there.
Oh my God.
And so now I've got, this is my laptop. It's got a picture of a dead rotting foot that's like,
oh, I lost you. I'll give it a sec. Let me see if I can. Oh. You back with us? Well, Bacon, thank you for the dark light D. I don't even want to say the D word. Thank you for the 223, brother. Appreciate you. Trench foot. Ooh, it could be trench foot. Time warp. It's a psyop. Dude, I've never had so many technical difficulties on a stream. It's almost like, I don't know, like someone is doing this to us. The moment I go live with him, I don't think I fixed the problem of the yellow dollar sign, alcohol, tobacco, and feet. Oh, geez, we start talking about feet and R2D2s out of the chat. I know, it's crazy. Maybe Gerchop is using his essay skills. Gerchop couldn't write an essay. All right? I'm just playing. Gerchop, you know we love you. Actually, you know what? I don't think we did our love to Gerchop so far. So everyone, please make sure that you show some love to Gerchop in chat. I love Gerchop. Feet chat killed it. I know, dude. I know. YT strikes again, and the agents arrived. Well, if I have a few dislikes, and I also did change the thumbnail to the PWEDC picture. So, boom, there we go.
can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Don't know what happened there. Computer decided to, stop working.
No, that's all good. We lost you right at, you're saying...
Rotting foot.
Yeah.
So I've got this dead rotting foot as my background on my desktop, and then I was walking over to the local liquor store to purchase drinks and that sort of a thing, and there was an entrepreneurially spirited young African American man standing out front selling his rap CDs, and I ended up in a conversation with this guy for a little while.
Yeah.
And it turned out where he ended up giving me one of his rap CDs that I didn't want, but he gave it to me, and he's like, "I'll give you this for free if you listen to it." And at this point, now I didn't want to insult the guy, so I took his rap CD, and then I go back to the office, and I also, I told him I would listen to it, so I put him in, and it was awful. It was out of key, the worst music you've ever heard, and it was. Every single song was about killing law enforcement, like every single one.
God.
You know what I mean? Like off the wall stuff.
Yeah.
And so I like laughed about it, listened to a couple of them, and then didn't worry about it. And, I'm not using CDs that much. So I just left the CD in my computer. So when I got raided by the ATF and they took my computer, whoever was the technician that had to go through it opened up the screen, saw a dead rotting foot, and then probably had to listen to the worst gangster rap, out of key nonsense about murdering police officers or whatever. So I can only imagine what they thought of me as like a human being,
Dude,
But
if this was any other country, you would have been executed immediately. Of course, they would have said that you made that music in your basement. Do you also make music too, or?
I don't know. I do. We are writing some children's songs and stuff like that, but I'm not musically inclined, so you're not going to hear me singing anything or ukuleleing or anything like that.
Well, I am a pro. I know every Moana song. I know every. If you ever need some inspiration, yeah, you're welcome. You let me know.
Favorite one.
I got you. So, okay, let me go back. So if y'all have questions for Firearms Unknown, feel free to go ahead and drop them in chat. I'll make sure that we hit them. I saw a question here earlier. So you actually run like a whole store, right? You have Firearms Unknown. Like, talk a little bit more about that, because didn't connect the two at first. Funny enough.
Yeah, it's something I'm involved in. It's not just me. It's there's a lot of people who are involved in that.
Mm-hmm.
But we have several retail locations in San Diego, and now we just opened a new location up in Orange County.
Nice.
So we got 4 locations. Then we do the website shipping and things like that. So it's firearmsunknown.com or whatever.
We got one question that I actually know the answer to, so I will put it right up here. It says, "Make Firearms Unknown again." Like I love that. They're asking about your hat.
Yeah.
Dimitri, what program do you use to make the animations? It looks like South Park.
So there's literally like 4 different programs that we're using, and it's for different parts of it or different things, and so it's kind of a mess, to be honest. It looks like South Park probably because it's 2D and crappy. That's what South Park was doing, or whatever, was the simplest they possibly could. But yeah, no, we're using a couple different programs from several different manufacturers. There's Character Animate and Illustrator and Photoshop and what's the other one? Cartoon Animator 4 or something like that. So there's a bunch of them, and they're all a big pain in the ass, and it's way harder than it needs to be.
Yeah, I gotta say I love it when oh, you know what? Damn, I don't think it made our it may have been in the video where they're doing the firearms training, and it's
hold on. At what gun show did he take over an ATF booth? Because if this was at SHOT Show, he might have been standing right next to me.
No,
what year was this?
It was this year in Virginia. So you'd get along with him. John Crum, thank you for the super chat. He said, "Put me in a video. I actually took over an ATF booth at a gun show." So this fool, and he's a good friend of mine. He actually, like, literally almost neighbors. He reports on the ATF, the FBI, and other types of agencies that encroach on our God-given and constitutionally insured rights that are never encroached on. And basically puts him out, and he's known very well by the ATF. We happen to live like an hour and some change from the headquarters in West Virginia, and basically he was at a gun show as like in the capacity of GOA, but he's also an investigative journalist, and he's fried the ATF constantly. He writes for AmmoLand, and he goes up and he talks to the ATF agents because they're at every gun show because, whatever. And he's like, hey, so, you guys like your job? And they're all kind of like, yeah, it's cool. It's great. We're ATF and, just talking dumb shit. And he's like, oh, well, I'm John Crump. And would you guys like to take a picture? Literally the moment he said it, they like started to walk away. And he's like, no, I want to take a selfie. I have a P80 with me. And he literally took a picture in front of an ATF booth, and like the agents like literally fled when he went to go take a picture. So he's standing there in front of the ATF booth empty with a P80 in his hands. And it's great. Like it's pretty hilarious. They probably would never fuck with him too bad because it would appear to be targeted because of all the shit that he's written about them on AmmoLand. But who knows? I mean, I don't know if they really have any boundaries anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, luckily they didn't get that chump that they're trying to push through as their director. But I don't think that really makes too much of a difference. I mean, they're going to do whatever they want anyway.
Yeah. And a lot of people, say like, it's because of this administration, and it's because every day they are becoming more tyrannical, and some things may expedite it, right? There may be some circumstances, but I mean, you look at the timeline of, the NFA and the GCA and the Brady, everything is just, the death by 1,000 cuts. It's just been an interesting 100 years in firearm freedoms.
Yeah, harassing federal agents at shows is actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
I asked the FBI one time why they were distributing child pornography. Got some pretty goofy response. Yeah, you know about that, right? Their child pornography ring.
What?
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, these clowns, they basically go out and they took over a server on the dark web that was distributing child pornography, and instead of shutting it down, they used taxpayer money to upgrade the server and make it more reliable, and they became one of the largest distributors of child pornography on the planet for a while. And the idea was this was going to be some sort of a sting, and they were going to catch people and all this other stuff. But every time they take somebody to court over it, without fail, the person that they're trying to arrest says, oh, well, how'd you get this evidence? And then the FBI says, oh, well, we don't want to tell you, and they drop their case. So they didn't catch any child pornographers. They didn't catch any pedophiles. And they literally, and the law says every time one of these pictures is shared or one of these videos is shared, that child is victimized another time. Nobody gave the FBI permission to victimize children in order to have some, off-the-wall plan that had they actually caught like a bunch of child pornographers and saved children, even then, like what they're doing is right on the edge of being, but they didn't. They didn't accomplish anything, and it's just I couldn't imagine working for an organization that is a notorious child pornography freaking distribution company, which is essentially what they are.
That's crazy. Like all they did was create a library of terrible things.
Yeah, and they made it more accessible. So they upgraded the servers, made it easier for people to download, expanded the capabilities, all this other sorts of stuff.
Jesus.
And it's just it blows my mind that because especially this plan and some of the things the ATF does too. Like I think about this and like there was like a process that happened here and multiple levels. There's one guy who's like, hey, I've got this idea. How about we give guns to the cartels? And then there's another guy who says, that's a great idea, man. And then it goes up to a third level where there's a boss and he's like, oh yeah, sure, give guns to the cartels. And the same thing happens with the FBI. One of these little low-level guys is like, I got it. We're going to distribute child pornography. And then there had to be a meeting where there's all these FBI people at the table and they're discussing it. And somehow, they came to the conclusion that distributing child pornography would be a good thing for them to do. it's just it's mind-boggling the kind
That's
of just
crazy.
nonsense that this goes into.
Dude, that's unbelievable. I can't even thinking like in my head. I'm like picturing, one of those long conference tables and a bunch of agents sitting back with their legs crossed and their legal pad and their little tablets taking notes. Like, so I was thinking, we're gonna do like 2,000 straw purchases, okay?
Not big area.
And who knows? We may even convert some of them, okay, to machine guns, and then we're going to give all of them to the most dangerous people that we can find within 1,000 miles. Who do you think would be good candidates? Like I have no idea how. It seems like our country has actually. Well, I'm going to say this differently. It seems like some of the people with authority in our country have almost done more harm than good. When you look at things like Fast and the Furious, when you look at what you've just described with the child pornography, when you look at Afghanistan, and we're just batting 1,000, man.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and part of it too is, I'm not one of these people that wants to defund the police or anything.
Yeah, I agree.
Because obviously there is a role for these types of things. I think it's gone way too far.
Yeah.
With what's going, especially with the federal agencies, but even like the local stuff is getting a little bit out of hand. But it's just, it seems like that people aren't really thinking before they start doing this, or there's not a serious control process that stops them from just basically going rogue and doing whatever the heck they want. And then once they do that, there's no punishment. They just get away with every single thing that they do. They constantly get away with it. In fact, it's more shocking when they don't get away with it than when they do. What was it, the guy in the hallway that was killed by those cops? The guy that they made him play Simon Says.
Yeah.
While he's trying, he's drunk. He's trying to pull up his pants and all this other stuff. It's not just the ATF. It seems like it's this pervasive system that's, just going throughout our entire country. And there is a role for police. We absolutely, because there's things that you need police for. There's things that you need different things for. But another big part of it is the amount of laws we have. If they were spending more time catching murderers and rapists and thieves and people who are committing actual, crimes against others, instead of spending all of their time going after basically technicality violations. I mean, and if you think about this, like the ATF, like if you go to jail for possessing an SBR, what you've really gone to jail, and we're talking about a 10-year prison sentence, what you've really gone to jail for is failure to pay $200. Yeah. So it's the equivalent of going to prison for 10 years because you didn't pay a parking ticket. I mean, parking tickets in California, you don't pay them for 3 months. They can be about $200, and they're not going to throw you in prison for 10 years because it would be stupid to throw someone in prison for 10 years for failing to pay a $200 fee. It doesn't.
Shit, in my area, they will put out a bench warrant on your ass if you don't pay your
parking tickets.
But I mean, you're right. Like, and I totally agree that, I do not agree with the, whole defund the police movement and all that bullshit. And there's people on all sides of, every political equation, which I believe the right and the left is like not even real at this point. It's just a way to.
That's why it all just needs to be looked at as entertainment at this point, because there's no point in getting too involved in it except for to point fingers and laugh, because I don't see how anything else is positive is gonna come from our system other than to good comedy, I guess.
Well, that's the fun. Like I talk to people that are for demonetizing what is that the word? Defunding. Jesus Christ, yeah. Defunding the police, and I'm like, okay, well, let's develop this a little bit.
What do you do when you actually have, obviously there's lots of situations that the police probably shouldn't be involved in. They shouldn't have. This drug war is ridiculous. Arresting people for marijuana or whatever it is, even the harder drugs, it's still ridiculous. It's come on, man. But there are rapists in the world. There are murderers. There are, nefarious people out there who are doing nefarious things, and there needs to be some sort of system to handle them. The problem is that system is getting pointed at the wrong people. So you know what I mean? And it's the same thing with most of the gun laws. They're, you know, every time there's some bad event, they try and go after legal gun owners as if that's going to make some sort of a difference, and it's not.
Yeah,
You know?
no, it'll have no impact. I mean, by definition, criminals will not follow the laws. And, you know, you may find some people that have been dedicated to following laws say, that's my line. No, I'm
Yeah.
now
So
willing to break the law.
I went through and I read the original conversations, well, some of them, not all of them, that happened before they passed the NFA.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because, you know, even in the 1930s, that particular argument was addressed, and it's not like we don't know that criminals don't follow laws. But the argument that was used, at least in the 30s, in Congress on that was like, oh, well, yeah, but we can. It's funny because you're reading a document that is, you know, the way they spoke back then, calling everybody crooks and you know, the language is entirely shifted. But the argument to counter that was essentially that, well, it would make the crook amenable to the law. And so the entire purpose of the NFA apparently was to be a pre-crime law to allow law enforcement to arrest people that they thought were bad people, but they didn't have any reason to arrest them. And so that on its face just is pretty unacceptable if you think. And most gun laws are not most, nearly all of them, apart from don't shoot your neighbor with your gun for no reason, is a pre-crime. They're trying to stop murders, or they're trying to stop some other thing that's already legal, and so they're making something before it illegal, as if that's going to make any sort of a difference. And it, you know, just like in Chicago and LA, it never works.
Yeah, I mean, those are literal perfect examples of, you know, of it not working. But I'm just blown away. I mean, looking at the case of I forgot the guy's name, but the shotgun, right? Because it wasn't in military use at the time. The sawed-off shotgun wasn't. It's the same shit as like looking at.
Well, and there's this like concept where basically the Second Amendment was intended to protect the use of arms in the furtherance of some sort of service in the militia. And so if the weapon wasn't particularly useful for military service, it wouldn't be protected by the Second Amendment. And now it's it seems to be the pervasive logic in the left is flipped, where if it is a military grade weapon, that's what should be banned, despite it being the you know, the exact opposite argument used in the case that you mentioned there.
Yeah, and look how much has changed in that, you know, under 100 years. Like that's literally ass backwards. But and if you guys don't know what we're referring to, do you remember the guy's name? I can't remember the dude's
off the top of my
name.
head. No, I remember the case. It was prior to the Heller decision, but
yeah.
It was the big one prior to Heller, whatever it was.
Even Heller, it's like, you know, they throw in the firearms in common use, right? And then like you have great companies like PSA came out publicly and said like, the reason we sell ARs for $500 and less and barely make a profit on each unit is so we can have them, you know, as available to as many people as we can.
That's a nice sales tactic. I mean, you know, the salesmen are on the list right next to lawyers and car mechanics of people that you should be real suspicious of what they're saying. But I do get the idea behind that, you know.
The sentiment. I mean, I will say that they are, I think just in general, like we were headed in a direction where ARs would become much more available and affordable than like back in the day. It was like AKs were $300 and ARs were $1,000, and or like kind of, you know, in that
they are
range.
kind of switching right now, where AKs are becoming the more they're demanding a premium. It seems like for AKs, and ARs are going down. You know, supply and demand. Hey man, that's the market.
Yeah, I think it's also like machining because building like as an individual or assembling or whatever you want to call it has become so much more just available for individuals to do, right? Like, you know, people could purchase an 80% lower and, you know, go to work. And the most, I mean, most common guns they're going to be able to build or assemble would be ARs and Glocks versus getting a hydraulic press and punching rivets in AKs, and not to mention most of those are imported, and there's a whole bunch of shit with that. But dude, man, I so appreciate you coming on, man. I know you got your kiddos. I don't want to take too much time from you.
Yeah, I probably got at max another 10 minutes here.
Okay, cool. Read the book, Which Way, Western Man, and take note of the author's age and date of publication. Okay. Why are we being cryptic? You just tell us. Read the book, Which Way. So the book
looks like it
called
was
Which Way.
published in 1978, and it was William Gailey Simpson. I don't see his age, but
Interesting. Yeah, I'll look into that, Gerchop. Thank you. Kimball, that's great. Okay, so questions that you guys have, feel free to throw them in chat. So anything you can throw in, like I know you've given us some hints of stuff that's coming in the future. Anything you can think of that you'd be able to share without getting in too much trouble?
Yeah, we'll have a video tomorrow. Well, Lord willing, I've still got a bunch of editing to do on this tonight, but we'll have a video released tomorrow at 12 that's going over the braces. We've got quite a few books lined up. And then we are going to be basically taking this brace point system to another level. That's going to be released in the next video, where we've got basically a sub-series with Bizet where he's going to be doing a game show.
Nice.
You kind of imagine how that's going to go.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically how that form is. I actually, in doing like a movie trailer to kind of troll the ATF based on the braces and stuff, I did, when everything first kind of came out, I did 2 like movie trailers. One of them was called House of 1,000 Braces, and it was like a horror flick one. And the other one was called The Brace That Got Away, and it's like a romantic comedy one, and it's hilarious. And there is a scene where there's insertion of a buffer tube in a stock, and it looks really dirty, and it's made to look dirty. But in doing that, I pretended to fill out one of the forms, and I ended up with like a plus 18 on like my main AR. I just grabbed that and I was like, okay, let's go through. And it was like 18 points. I was like, dude,
That ain't good.
Yeah, and I did it on like the
Hello, perpetrator.
Yeah, I was waiting. I wanted to ask you to do the hello perpetrators, and what was like kick.
So here's one we got here. What is the tattoo thing with the ATF? So essentially, what happened there is they're running a sting operation, and
oh, that's right. I got to tell you my story too. Yeah, I want to.
Yeah, so during the sting operation, they convinced a mentally challenged person to get the logo of their fake pawn shop tattooed on his neck, and then they basically convinced him to do some criminal activity that they came up with in the furtherance of this fake pawn shop, and then they arrested him. Which, I mean, on its face, like, here you've got these agents that are, of normal, well, I'd like to say they're of normal sound mind. What they're doing doesn't seem like a person of sound mind, but you've got these agents that are we'll put it, more mentally capable than this person that they're essentially entrapping. And I mean, and they paid for it. I could imagine, going after a literal mentally challenged person, tattooing his neck with a squid smoking marijuana, and then arresting him for a crime that I invented. I mean, and this is just, it's not even shocking behavior at this point. It's pretty typical behavior on their part. It seems like it's almost like this, they talk about gun culture. It's this culture that goes on in the ATF doesn't seem to have a clue about what reality is.
No, it's so far off from the truth. And it's not like, there was a very similar situation where a guy and his buddy went to a gun show, and he purchased a totally legal semi-auto, AK-47, Wasser 1063, whatever. And the buddy that he went to the gun show with was informing to the ATF and FBI for other charges that he had on him. And he had said, hey, dude, you should totally make that AK full auto. And he was like, I wouldn't even know how to do that, right? And dude, there's articles all over the place. It was in Virginia. And he was like, dude, I got a guy. Let me introduce you to him. So he introduces him to a guy who meets with them at Hooters, funny enough. And they sit down, and he's like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll turn it into a machine gun, and I'll do it for like something stupid. Like it was probably like $200, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, funny enough. And he gave his perfectly legal AK to this undercover agent that said he could do the modification. They took it to a field office headquarters or whatever in Virginia and did the conversion. They turned it into an illegal machine gun and then delivered it back to him. And the moment that it was in his possession, they all hopped out and tackled him, and they busted him.
Brilliant. Honestly, it's a lot easier to do that than to go after real criminals. So if you and most things in government, like insidiousness and conspiracy theories, it usually comes down to laziness and stupidity. And what's the laziest, most stupid way you can catch quote unquote criminals and get your little badge of I got a bad guy? It's to create the criminal. And doing something like that is way easier than going after like somebody who's supplying the cartels or somebody who's actually committing crimes like a hitman or a murderer or a rapist or whatever it may be. Like you can just you can box up and make your own little criminal, and you can take them to jail, and you can get a pat on the back and maybe a nice promotion. That sounds like a great deal.
And you get to modify an AK and turn it into a machine gun, test fire it, and have a blast.
I'm sure they had a lot of fun.
Yeah, right? Man, I wish I could do that, my lunch break. But I would never, ever modify a firearm into an illegal configuration.
That's wise. Yeah, that would be wise. Yeah, honestly, like this goes back to what I was saying earlier. There's if there's somebody who asks you to do something illegal and it's a person that you've just met, they're a cop. If it's somebody you've known from second grade and they ask you to do something, they're a well-trained cop. So the best policy is just to assume that everybody's a cop. I mean, especially if somebody's being like, let's modify this gun, man. Like, no, let's not.
Yeah, let's not
do that shit on your own time.
Yeah, and typically it's either going to be feds or they're just literally the biggest idiot. Both are bad. So definitely if it's somebody you there's this meme I got to share. It's like the first time you meet your internet friends in real life, and it's like 6 FBI agents holding a dude to the ground, cuffing him. And it's like,
I've seen that one.
Yeah, that thing's awesome. How long before the AFT goes after the WOT trigger? Yeah, so I'm actually going to do a video on that. There's there's a couple triggers. There's a wide open trigger, and there's another one I can't recall the name that is literally like, it looks like they took the patent of the rare breed trigger and then literally changed it by approximately 20% and made the same thing. And it's either, I would guess, and I'm totally guessing, it is like a super baller move by the rare breed firearms dude, or just to put them out there and flood the market with them as much as possible, or it's people trying to capitalize off of sense of urgency and panic buying, which both are, a possibility.
Honestly, man, with the way ammo is right now, I wouldn't even want a full auto. Like, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, go through your entire month's rent in 5 seconds?
Yeah, right. I do. I'm still obsessed with machine guns. I just, but I also wouldn't pay post 86 transferable prices. It's nuts. Do your own mods. That's a good. Actually, I'm not giving any advice. Don't do anything. Just don't do anything.
John
any
Rice is
other-
saying that Rare Breeds is suing them. Apparently,
Yeah,
this industry is so
that's what
full of
he's
that,
saying.
man. It's kind of taxing sometimes watching all the people in this industry sue each other. But
I know,
whatever.
and I know John Rice. That is what he said. He said that he was suing them. He's also a lawyer. He's very smart, and I would say the same thing if I and file the lawsuit. If the lawsuit just gets mysteriously dropped for these two companies, yeah, you know, I'm just saying don't rule out the idea. It's, common use, right? All right. Any other questions for Firearms Unknown? So naturally, the story is going to be that, the way that I got you on the show is because I'm an ATF. No, I'm a CIATFBI agent, and I am holding you against your will, and something like that. Like, so, just make the story spicy if people ask you about it.
Yeah, and the Waco in the background is me letting people know that I need help. So
Yeah, right. He's been blinking SOS the entire time.
yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I really appreciate you coming on, man. I know, you got your family there, and taking the time to come on here, while you're in daddy mode is huge. I really appreciate that. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for reaching out to us, and it was fun.
Yeah, man. Awesome. Let's definitely do something in the future. We're pretty ridiculous, and I've done some pretty stupid things on camera that you could probably use in an episode. So
Cool, man.
let me know.
Give Crump my number too.
Yeah, I'll do that. It'd be awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, me, Crump, Flying Rich. There's a few channels that all kind of roll together where, just trying to support each other and all that. So
Cool, man.
yeah, dude, appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for
Yep.
coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
All right, brother. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks. Dude, that was awesome. Oh, hold on. It's not letting me change the freaking. Hold on. Okay. Well, let me change the format. Oh, well. Yeah, dude, that was awesome. Patented medicine is bullshit. Patenting seeds or plants is bullshit. Yeah, I know. I mean, I will say though that like for the trigger, for an example, like it's important to patent things like that because like that idea like belongs to you. It was unique compared to other triggers that were on the market and all that. Lego Man asks if John Rice is a lawyer. I think they only show me top chat, y'all. Just stepped out of the shower. What did I miss? A lot, man. It's over. It's over, bro. Gerchop's new name is the Poop Watcher. So I saw a couple comments on that, and I felt really weird and really awkward. So I don't want to know anything about that. Yeah, so it's not owning an idea. It's owning a specific and unique design. Oh, John Rice, that's awesome. I agree with that, Dark, but life-saving technology or men should know. Oh, no, totally agree. 100%. I think like a design, something that can truly be duplicated is understandable, right? But patents also expire. You can also create, yeah. So you, Crump, Rich, and CRS are all agents, of course, yeah. And we're all different agencies. No, I think we're all the same agencies, apparently. You haven't infringed anyone's rights by copying someone's design. Yeah, That's an interesting argument. I'm an agent as well, a real estate agent. We all are. Hold on. Let me get back. Yeah, every innovative idea are just copies of other designs. I just bought a Lago Alien, mechanically just a 1905 Dries combined with an HK P7 design-wise. That's cool. Yeah, but I mean, it also presents like a true pain in the ass when, like, let's say I had a Century Arms 90 HK91 clone. Sent me whatever. Anyway, it was changed 20%. One of the things that they changed 20% was you move the safety lever down for safe and up for fire. Well, when you have been training and practicing your entire life to go down for fire and up for safe, do you realize how much of a pain in the ass that is? Like, come on, guys. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. That's how it all got started. Most shit of that nature happens because someone close to them ratted them out and stuck their notes where it didn't belong. Mark, we still need to do a live because I have to tell some people about my case. Yeah, man. Until that's done, I actually would not talk about it at all. I highly advise you not to talk about it. Yeah, don't talk about it. All right, that's Setme came out first in Spain, and HK copied the design. No shit. Yeah, no, I know. That's why we're all glowies. We're all glowies. No, I've not talked to Dugan at all. I think last time I talked to him was months ago, and it was brief. So he's gone with the wind. But yeah, that's it. I just wanted to make sure I could bring on Dimitri, the Firearms Unknown. He's super cool dude, super chill. And the fact that like a lot of the times I can't do some of these other shows, like I was supposed to be on Hank Strange on Friday. I can't do it because of timing, right? Like between 7 and 9 p.m. Eastern, like I'm taking care of my daughter, putting her to bed, and typically that time on days that we stream, I'm prepping to come on for our 9:30 start time, which sometimes that's even difficult to make. So yeah, it's just tough. So the fact that he came on and like spent time with us when like that was his time, when he was with his kids and having to take care of them and all that, because he's 3 or 4 hours behind us. Dark, please say something to insult me. Gerchop, your feet smell bad. Gerchop, you're insensitive to other people's feelings. Well, so yes, but Glock's patent expired for their Gen 3. So the way I don't know. I can't answer that. I don't know if they will. I wish I could tell you. I think that opportunity has passed. Damn, boy, you got roasted. Gerchop uses cheap ammo with some stank ass feet, some bitch feet, little bitch feet. Oh, that's good. Let's see. Oh yeah, still look at that. Still demonstertized. Let me respond real quick. Sorry. Yeah, Gen 3 is the best gen, period. That is the only generation that is pure perfection. And I'll tell you that Glock, as far as the Gen 4 and Gen 5 goes, has actually sold 0 units. There are 0 Gen 4 and Gen 5 Glocks in the civilian population. They just can't sell them. People only purchase Gen 3s. They also are the only handgun to date that have made 0% recoil models. They're typically lubricated with angel tears, and their slides and barrels are CNC machined out of Pegasus bones and horns. Dark, don't move. There's an alien behind you. Just kidding. You know I wouldn't have to chamber around. Let's see. There is that ski mask is a little funky looking, and the 2 other masks. Okay, what else? Thirsty cult, you decide on what's moral doesn't make things moral. Ooh, we got beef in this. I'm just kidding. Let's see what more companies are doing stuff like Logo. Yeah, so backing up a little bit. Hell yeah, Mike. Thanks for joining in. Backing up a little bit, like let's just say, let's play a little game here and say that you know, if you were in the same situation as the rare breed trigger guy, okay, would it be far-fetched to say, if a dozen other companies were to come out with a variation of the same trigger that was changed at least 20% from the original patent, and when the market was flooded with them and they were sold all over the place because there's obviously a high sense of urgency to purchase, it would definitely be challenging for the ATF to follow that. Also, if that person that's, you know, let's say the rare breed trigger guy, if he were to say, I'm suing all these people, this is outrageous. How could companies ever do this? Especially companies that I've been working with for X amount of time. Like, you were really close with those companies, and that's really fast. Could it be that maybe they sent other designs out that they just didn't patent or go patent pending on to these other companies, and they were to push them out like that, flood the market with them, and then what? Is the ATF going to go do the same exact thing to a dozen other companies? I don't know. That's all I'm saying. Do I think that that's what happened? I don't know. I'm just saying it's a possibility. Yeah, turnaround time was nuts. Like, super nuts. So, Gerchop, why was I supposed to insult you? I don't understand. Yeah, I'm not sure. But I'll say this. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for coming in and hanging out, and having Firearms Unknown in here was great. All I had to do was threaten him with legal action and use all of my federal agent powers to get him in here. But yeah, it was a blast. And just seeing him and hearing the voice of Richard Bezet, like, dude, that was awesome. That was really cool. So yeah, I had a blast. Thank you all for joining in. My recommendation to you guys would be to support the companies that support us. Not only, you know, me, Crump, and Flying Rich, and the guys that are fighting the fight. You know, JSD Supply, shop with them. I've actually been getting hit up by a lot of people that are building, kind of asking questions and stuff, and that's dope. I encourage you, if it is legal where you live, to build from 80% receivers, because, I mean, there's so much you can learn by building a firearm. If you're already going to get stuff like that. So you can still, believe it or not, get a P80 lower for a Glock for $89 on JSD Supply. So I highly recommend that you do that. You got to use code DARK. No, I don't get anything for it. I get nothing. I want to help out companies that are in the fight. And not only that, companies that said, we will completely ignore any frame receiver parts BS changes, and we will blatantly disregard it and fight, and we will never, ever share our clients' information. Like, I know there's some things that are out of people's hands. Like, we were talking to Dimitri. You can deny to give that information out. Then they're going to come turn your shit upside down, take your computers, take your rolls, take your books, take everything. It's unfortunate. That's why the best thing to do is to not do illegal shit, right? And I mean, it's don't say it, Dark. Just don't do illegal things, okay? Make sure you follow all of your federal, local, state rules, laws, restrictions, ordinances, and all that shit, okay? When are they going to sell an 80% Carl Gustav? David Chitman, AFT. I know he always pops up in here. I had to uncork my thumb to hit thumbs down. I bet you did. We probably got 3 or 4 thumbs down. It's no, you're good. It's just the ideas and views of an individual that's misled. That's all. 80% F-16 kit. See, now you're talking. F-15, F-16, whatever it is. That'd be dope. I actually found one for sale for $8.5 million. And then I actually started thinking okay, what would I have to do to get $8.5 million? And then I started to realize even if I had $8.5 million, would an F-15 be the best investment? And if you can't afford a reload, then what's the point? There could be so many other things that you could purchase with that money that you could actually use right now. Like land, right? Maybe get some land and plant some trees and stuff like that. F-15 would cost less. That may have been what I found. Sorry, Dark, but before you know it, when justice is outlawed, only the just become outlaws. The Mask of Zorro. Damn. That's pretty based for Zorro, for Catherine Zeta-Jones movies. You are only as free as you believe you are, right? You can be free up here. And I'm not talking about free slaves daydreaming while they're being whipped. I am talking about no matter what happens, you cannot take information, you cannot take education, you cannot take experience, you cannot take skills, you cannot take no one can take those things from you, right? Take every single one of my firearms, take every bullet that I have, take every knife that I have, you know what? The danger. Now, I'm not saying that, anyone should do anything without just cause, but I'm talking about from a self-preservation standpoint or a world without rule of law standpoint, okay? The danger is the individual. The other shit, that's a tool, right? It's all about the operator. But yeah, let's make sure that we're supporting other companies, man. JSD Supply is great. They gave us a discount code to use to save money on and get free shipping. So take advantage of that so you can build freedom, right? So you can, get your tools prepped and ready. Yeah, I'll let y'all go. Thank you. I love all y'all. Just remember, and I always tell you guys this, duct tape a Glock to a drone and a wooden dowel with a mechanical arm. Yeah, just be kind, right? Live a life where your rule number one is to be kind. Live a life of care and compassion and contribute to others. Truly contribute to others. Take care of the people around you. Be a good fucking person. Always. Right? And of course, practice and exercise violence and do so with discipline and respectfully. Right? And be the most dangerous motherfucker that you possibly can be. Always. That is your job. That is your responsibility. That's what we're supposed to remember. Duct tape a Glock to a drone. I duct tape a duck to my dick. The Germans in their final days were strapping Panzerfaust on Piper Cub like planes. Not a bad idea. Yeah, hey, whatever you can get away with. Yeah, mass non-compliance. Mass peaceful non-compliance would be preferred. Anything else is up. Honestly, it's up to them, and then it's up to you. Only you know what your line is, and everyone has a line. I got to bounce before we start talking too crazy. I love y'all. Thank you. Be kind. Okay? Rule number one, be kind. And lift others up, but don't ever allow a motherfucker to step on you. Peace, y'all.